who I'm about to introduce you to, who's going to introduce you to more awesome people, actually holds the top 3 spot for longest intensive conversation with me on the Culture Matters podcast, weighing in at 2 hours and 33 minutes, right under 2 icons. Bill Dallas, who I respect like hell, 2 hours and 49 minutes, and Donald Hennig at 2 hours and 44, is a man who always brings outside the box thinking, inclusion, collaboration. You can thank him for a lot of things. He's helped a lot of people in this industry. And that is my dear friend, Jason Frazier. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah.
I'm Corrina Carter, CEO of CMS Mortgage Solutions.
On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us too. Playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us, it's
What's happening, y'all? Christopher Griffith with LaViale coming at you to tell you moderators a little bit about the few common obstacles. Next, whatever number we're on, we'll call it F.
Yeah, put them together and what have you got? I don't know.
You've all been informed what we think cussing here is and the cheeky manners in which we don't like it to exist, and there's a
Hey, Eric Estevez here. Just wanted to take a minute to shout out.
We have what's called the berry button now. It's this big red button that I hit before every show starts. And
ladies, this video is for you.
Hello, 2020 Vision for Success attendees. My name is Michael Hammond. I couldn't be more excited to be here with you.
Jamming a 10-pound bag of potatoes into a 5-pound bag. You know how that goes.
What's that like?
It's like me putting a pair of jeans on. All right, let's do this.
We are live. Mortgage X Podcast Live. Welcome, everyone. Very excited.
And the results, jaw-dropping, honestly. Because can you believe that the mortgage industry well, I just want to tell them a little, so they can get a taste.
All right, cool. All right, so this is going to be a 2.5 hour panel, so strap in. Everyone set the precedent, so we're good now. And we're not going to let Chris speak because we only have, 8 hours for the rest of the day. So, but I want everyone just to quickly introduce themselves. Christopher, go.
That's not working. Oh,
there you go.
Christopher Griffith. I'm from a little town called Pottsboro, Texas. Created a couple different companies now. I'd say the most marketing prevalent one being LaViale. Yeah, so we serve veterans. We do it differently, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Not a good introduction.
Corrina Carter, President and CEO of CMS Mortgage in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
LaViale, Area Manager for Caliber Home Loans on the Central Coast, California.
Anna Maria Sanin, and I am the founder of the Confident Closers Branding and Consulting, and I'm excited to be here.
William Calzadilla, Atlantic Home Loans Branch Manager, New Jersey.
Eric Estevez, I'm a branch manager for Nations Lending, also New Jersey.
rough crowd. Fobby Naghmi, National Sales Manager for First Option Mortgage and host of Laugh, Lend, and Eat podcast.
Wow. Alex, you guys can't see me. Why'd you put me behind a podium? Nobody can see me.
You chose your seat. It doesn't matter where we put you. No one's going to see anyway.
My name is Alex Kutsishin, co-founder, CEO of Sales Boomerang, and now you can see me.
I forgot the baby Bjorn to put Alex in there. That's my fault.
I'm done.
No, Alex, I love this guy. Love this guy.
I love you
So the way I wanted to approach this, I was thinking about different ways to do it. Could have sent out questions or whatever, but if you know me, I like to be a little bit off the cuff, seat in my pants. So, the modern marketer, we've had a lot of great speakers. We have a lot of great expertise and talent on the stage here. Obviously, with me being the Chief Strategy Officer for EPM, strategy is a big thing for me. And one thing that I've talked about for those of you that follow my content is that the next decade of this industry, to me, is going to decide the winner, right? Is it going to be us in the traditional model, so to speak, that disrupts from within and decide this is what the industry is going to look like in 10 years? Or is it going to be the outside forces, the fintech lenders, the Quickens, and all those others that are going to decide what's best for the consumer? But they're wrong. It's us, right? It's going to be the next decade that decides that. So with that, I was thinking about maybe I should do a big SWOT analysis when it comes to marketing in the industry. If you don't know what SWOT is, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? So instead of going through that whole exercise, that's kind of the framing that I want to do for this panel as we talk about the next decade in this industry. And I believe, honestly, and it's not just because I'm a marketer and I have a passion for marketing, but to me, we all are selling the same shit, right? We are. The only way that you're going to differentiate yourself in the market is through your marketing. Because it doesn't matter what your rate, service, or anything else is. Culture, that's great. All that stuff's important, don't get me wrong. But if nobody knows about you, it does not matter. There's a lot of great companies that started and failed that really could have changed an industry or the world, but nobody knew about them, and they're gone, all right? So with that in mind, on a rosy note, with that in mind, dun, dun, dun. That's it, guys. I'm gonna start with Corrina. Corrina, obviously very successful, running your own business, doing a ton of great things. As you look for the next, I don't want to say the next decade, but as you look to the future, as it relates to marketing and what you do in the industry, what would you say the greatest opportunities are?
Well, for each one of us, we've learned a lot about personal branding and what that looks like. In the earlier panel about telling our story. So one of the things I did a couple years ago was work with a video coach. So about trying to tell my story. So I think the opportunity there for everybody is to connect with someone, is to be able to start telling your story, whether it be just a little bit of information in each piece of thing that we do. So it was really hard for me to start going out there telling people who I was. Because I was a lot like Laura, a lot like Christine talks about, is like, do you really want to share that personal past? But that's how people really connect. So the opportunity, I think, is really to start your personal branding. And I met with Anna last month, and we had a wonderful conversation about, she's like, shit, girl, just do it. Just do it. So I think the opportunity is people, either you're going to take that opportunity and run with it and go for it, or you're not going to get that opportunity back. So I think the opportunity is to start, for me and for a lot of the ladies out here and the men, is to take that opportunity. It's how are you going to start your personal branding and that opportunity there.
Great, and so I love that because that's the greatest strength, but it also could come from the greatest weakness. And to expand on that, and I'd like to ask you, because we talked about branding, and obviously that's where your expertise is, how do you look at is from those that have the weakness of trying to develop that personal brand or even understanding what that is, how do they get started is like the question that everyone asks, but how do they be successful with doing it?
Practice makes perfect. That's really the only way. I remember when I started putting myself out there, and that was maybe 8-9 years ago, I was extremely scared of seeing myself on camera, being judged. I'm a woman, so I judge myself more than anybody else can judge us, right? That's how we are, ladies. And I know men do that too. We're just more open about it. But truthfully, it just doing it, you know, getting yourself out there, definitely following influencers, or not necessarily influencers, but people, leaders who are providing value to help you learn and overcome your weaknesses. I mean, that's really it. Like, how do you overcome those weaknesses is by actually doing it. And allowing yourself to be vulnerable, because at the end of the day, we're all judging each other. We're judging ourselves. And so We need to really just step away from that judgmental state of mind and just letting ourselves be authentic, be you, and know that you're not the only one going through what you're going, feeling how you're feeling. And so as more of us come and step up and start doing it, the more strength we give to each one of us to just gather and just eat the frog, right?
Yeah. It's so true. So let's stay on that side of the panel. Grant, can you talk to us a little bit about how you built your personal brand?
Well, again, I think the most important thing is definitely on the branding piece. I mean, I could share with you a couple years ago, I had an old coach who said, Grant, you're like a lone candle in a dark room. Nobody can see you. And I was failing at the time, and he was spot on, like, you're hired right there. And I just think it's so important, really, as Anna and the other individuals are saying, that to be authentic. I'll share with you, my career really took off when I became vulnerable. It's easier said than done, but I'll share with you that if you were to go on my LinkedIn and looked at some of my blogs, even recently as maybe 2 weeks ago, I think I wrote one on trauma. And I'm not talking COVID trauma and stuff like that, because we all went through trauma. I'm talking about how people have recently been going through disease and cancer and all this kind. But if you look at in that article, I think some of my employees, and some of them are here today, learned more about me than they ever even knew before. I never even graduated college, didn't get a degree. My father passed away when I was 21, and I could go on and on. So the only thing I would encourage everybody, and if you want to look at authenticity, take a look at Christine's post when she indicated she had COVID. I mean, that's authenticity. I mean, I actually had people that I know that didn't even know Christine call me in tears. So if you want to look at what true authenticity of branding yourself, that was one of the best videos I've ever seen.
Great, no, agreed. Switch gears a little bit to opportunities, and I want to pose this to Chris. And if you've been following Chris, he talks a lot about CRMs, but not in the CRMs that a lot of people think about CRMs, but Facebook being the ultimate CRM. So, which I think is going to be extremely important for the modern marketer as it relates to being an originator. So can you talk a little bit about that, Chris?
Gladly. Thank you for asking, Jason.
You're welcome.
It's like
Is everyone still awake? Yeah, barely. Okay. That was actually pretty good. So Facebook, I hate CRMs, right? I hate being told what to do. First of all, that's the root of it. I don't like being told what to do. If there are any of you like that, you might want to listen. For those of you like being told what to do, this might not apply. CRMs tell me what to do, and most of the time they're telling me what to do, and they don't understand what we ought to be doing. They're just telling me something to be doing, right? Facebook is different. Think about what does a CRM do for you? It helps you find your consumer where they are and stay in contact with them, right? At a root function. Let you know when you ought to be doing those things. If you follow me on Facebook and you like flowers, you probably follow me a lot this season because my flowers are going nuts, guys. I've got some hibiscus about 3 weeks out. Come over, check them out. But what I mean to say by that is, if you follow me on Facebook, you follow me for a lot of different reasons. You might like the pictures of my flowers that I post through the spring. You might like how I talk about how my daughters interact with our 8-foot jungle carpet python and our other 3 snakes. You might follow the stuff that I post when you see me up here in this, and then the next thing you see, I'm in cowboy boots, a tank top, a bottle of whiskey sitting beside me with just a small glass out of it, and I'm running cattle or something with family. I share who I am because there are a lot of you out there that are weirdos like me in different ways. None of you are as weird. It's okay. Be weird in your own way and share your weirdnesses because people like people that are weird. People like people that are confident enough to respectfully say, George, I love you. I couldn't care less what you think about me. I'm not defined by your perception, good sir. I'll work against the poor parts of your perception that don't define me properly, right? Facebook will allow you to stay in contact with people without being the guy with the vacuum cleaner at the window. Marketing is not solicitation. People want to know you before they want to choose you to serve them. And if they do not believe that you care the most, they're much less likely to choose you. Give them things, true, real things about you that they can care about. And whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or whatever the kids are into these days. I've been wanting to say that for a long
MySpace.
time. MySpace, I was on there. Hey, Tom.
MySpace is just where you stand now.
But whatever it is, if you put who you are out there, you don't have to badger people to tell them things. You're like, hey man, I was checking out your hibiscuses and it made me think I need to talk to you about my cash out refi. Like, perfect, I got you. The reason why is because people will follow you if they're interested in you. They're not interested in what you have to sell them. They're interested in who you are. That's what human to human connections is about. And if you cannot create the emotion that cause people to realize that and be attracted to it, then watch yourselves be replaced by fintech, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook allows you to humanize yourself in the eyes of the terrorists. And I treat all of y'all like terrorists because I'm so weird. There's gonna be parts of my humanity that disgust you probably, or you don't like, but there may be one or two that are going to endear you to me in a way that opens a door. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what a CRM should do. It should open a door.
Drop that mic.
Yeah. Great job. So, to continue on opportunities, I want to talk to Alex here because, and Alex may not remember this. He's raised this. Alex is right here.
You guys see me? I'm right here.
But Alex may not remember this, but the first conversation I had with him was really when Sales Boomerang was just starting. And I was in the offices of Social Survey. I was advising them at the time, and Alex was talking to me all about missed opportunities of lenders and originators when it came to farming their database, right? So as you look at the next decade, as it relates to marketing, what is the greatest opportunity for originators right now?
Well, I think, first of all, I was just mesmerized by everything you said, Chris. It was amazing.
It's the black V-neck. We got that whole...
I was going to mention that too, by the way.
I love you.
Great style.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. That right there is marketing in action, right there.
Rapport, commonality.
So I think if we're looking at the next, it's not even the next decade. It's this marketing is marketing. One of the things I hate seeing in marketing is people trying to do what somebody else does because they saw them do it. Say it again.
You got a fan.
I got a fan. She's feeling what I'm saying. So don't be an imposter. We talked about authenticity, but it's not about looking at somebody else and seeing what they're doing and going, hey, I want to do that, right? It's finding your lane, growing flowers, wearing V-necks, having a beard, right? I too believe in, I'm on brand right now, right? This is my brand. I sit on stage with drinks in my hands. That's kind of how it happens. All the alcoholics out there, appreciate you. So I think the future, always, not just the future, but marketing in general, you're doing it because it is an extension of what you're trying to create. And if you try to replicate somebody else's creation, it's just not gonna work for you. I don't know how else to say it. It's just not gonna work. It's like, you ever see someone that just agrees to do something just because everybody else is doing it, and you can see they're hating the process, they're just uncomfortable? That's what it looks like when you're trying to copy somebody else's process, right? So if I started growing plants and started talking about it, you would all hate me, okay? Because I can't do it like Chris. Chris loves these plants, all right? I have one fake flower in my house, all right? That's it, and my wife's sitting back there, so she won't let me lie. So it really is just following your own process. And here, I'll give you this, right? Because they're like, Alex, everybody already said being authentic. So you need to understand why you are building your brand. You need to know why. If you don't know why, stop it. It's going to be noticeable. It's going to be sloppy. It's not going to be you, right? So first answer the why, then go forward, right? Why are you building this brand? Why are you marketing in the first place? That's it. So with that, I will hand it off.
Great. So one opportunity that I see, and that's good that Fobby has the mic now, is within audio and podcasting, right? As you know, podcasting is a big thing for me, and Fobby's got a great one, right? So Fobby, talk to me about the opportunity that you see with what you're doing with your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so let me just back up a few things. First and foremost, I think Alex really hit on it. You know, is you got to do what's good for you.
Yep.
You got to really be wanting to do something. Just because I'm doing a podcast and Jason's doing a podcast, Alex is doing drinking, doesn't mean you need to be doing that, right?
What a brand I built for myself.
So to me, it's like, if you're really into that, because Jason, you know this, and I didn't know this, okay? Podcasting is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, okay? It's not like you just get on there and talk to people, you know, at least if you want a good podcast, right?
Yep.
So for me, the opportunity was really to try to identify who I was, right? Create these interviews that people could get some information out of. I was more looking to kind of like get information out of people, and then what I found, man, was really, for me, was that I began to learn from the people that were coming on my show.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, the interaction, the knowledge that was being shared. And you know, we did a branding special a few months ago, right? To kick off the 2021 season, and you know, you go into these interviews and you got 3 brand specialists, and now you're just listening and absorbing, right? Because I cannot compete with those people and what they've been through and with all the knowledge they have.
Yeah.
So for me, being able to absorb all that information, so kind of round circle back to what you started off with, right? If you have that desire, right, then the podcast is a perfect medium.
Yep.
You know, if you like to talk a lot, you know, interviewing people may not be your thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because all of a sudden they're going to be talking, you're going to keep cutting them off.
Yeah.
And there is that rhythm that you develop when you're interviewing people to allow them that space to be able to speak. And sometimes the greatest compliment that I get from the guests afterwards is saying, you know what, I really shared something that I had never shared before.
Yeah.
And you allowed that space to occur. And I like that because, once again, it's going beyond the mortgage. You know, like the article I write for you, right? So kind of like the same thing. It's beyond the numbers, because if all we're talking about is metrics, that gets boring, man. Our industry is boring enough.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you got a 30-year fix, the rate is 3%, see you later in 30 years. Right? Let's make it a little bit more interesting. I mean, Chris and his thing of the vets and the flowers, I mean, I would never have guessed the guy who was into flowers, let's say I was on the same stage and I heard that, right?
Yeah.
If someone said, hey, do you know Chris likes flowers? I said, no, I don't know that. I know he likes cattle, right? But you learn things from people if you're listening. And I think the art of listening is critical in our business.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing I want to say, you asked a question about the 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, the art of communication is being lost. And as loan officers, we need to communicate with the consumer more directly. And when Barry was speaking this morning, I was thinking to myself, I know what sparked it. When I'm on a plane and the plane hits turbulence, right, and I'm scared shitless, 30,000 feet and the plane's shaking, right? And the pilot comes on and says, hey, we got some turbulence. It's going to be here for 20 more minutes. We're going to try to get from 28 to 30,000 altitude to get rid of it. Hang tight. Well, that's what the client is going through. When they're closing and you're not talking to them, they're in turbulence. You've got to let them know, hey, we got a little problem. I'm talking to the underwriter. I'll let you know tomorrow what the result is. That little communication defines the difference between a human loan officer and the fintech loan officer.
Yeah.
And we've got to hold on to that.
Good point. So Eric, I want to have you expand on that a little bit on what Fobby just said, but also a good point that Fobby brought up was, and I see originators make this mistake all the time, is like, I went to a conference, everyone said I need to be on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, so they try to do everything, get overwhelmed, and don't do anything, right? At the end of the day, I always say pick one thing, because you can build a great brand and connect and create a good network off of any one of those channels if you dedicate and commit to doing it. But you gotta like it. You gotta enjoy it. If you don't, it's hard to do something well when you don't like it, right? That's why I don't dance. So, so that's one of those things. That's the reason. But Eric, talk a little bit about, expand a little bit on what Fobby just said, especially about liking, picking something that you like.
Yeah, I mean, like dancing, the more you do it, the more you're gonna like it, right? Because the better you get at it. So I think you know, perfection isn't the goal, right? The goal is connection. So, you know, and I always say this all the time: done is better than perfect. A lot of time we talk about video marketing and you don't like the way you sound. I hate the way I sound right now. Right? When you play this back, I'm gonna hate the way I sound. But the fact of the matter is that done is better than perfect. You have to go out and put yourself out there, because it is a connection business. And we talk about the biggest challenge over the next 10 years in being fintech. We can turn that around and use technology to connect with people more, right? You know, Facebook and our phones are the most important screen in our lives right now, right? We look at Facebook more than anything else right now, or any social media platforms. So we have to use that to our advantage, you know. I try to attend these training programs as much as I can. And the last one that I attended with you, Jason, right? You challenged me, you challenged us, and I always take heed to the fact that, you know, apply something, right? When you go to a training and you're going to spend an hour and you're spending 2 days here, what are you going to apply? And I went ahead and I the very next day, I went and I shot a video at a local gym that I was attending, and I shot a little TikTok video, and we'll talk about TikTok in a second. I shot a TikTok video, and I boosted it, and I have 6 days left because it's for 30 days. So I ran it for 30 days, right? And let me tell you, just walking around, I went to a 7-Eleven the next day, and they said, oh yeah, I saw that you're the owner of that gym, right? And I know that's a friend of mine, Jim. Oh, what do you do? Now the conversation started, right? This is the very next day that I took heed to the fact that Jason said, go out and promote a local business and shoot a video, right? So every month do that. Right? If you're shopping, if you go to a hair salon, a nail salon, if you go to a barber shop, if you go to a bakery around your corner, go do that, post a video. Done is better than perfect. They're going to see who you are, and you're also helping building somebody else's business and reputation around too, right? So, I mean, I've been doing this. I think I'm the rookie. You know, I think I've been doing this for about 3.5 years, and I used social media to grow at an exponential rate. Right, you know, I looked at my TikTok. Right, I have about 1,200 followers on my TikTok, and then I see my daughter, who's you know, cute teenager with 100,000 followers. So what did I do? I put my daughter on payroll to help me with my TikTok. Right? Right? So you gotta know what you're good at, right? You know, I'm doing a lot of different things as a producing branch manager, and you know, I have a bunch of loan officers under me now, and my time is spread thin. So now you gotta say, okay, video is important. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna boost the video for 30 days. It's gonna constantly be out there, right? If you have a marketing manager, or if you put time away to do because we're talking about video marketing, is so key, because that video is making people around you realize that you like flowers or you like cattle, right? Or you're the Dave Chappelle of the mortgage industry, drinking on stage, right? So the fact of the matter is that you have to continue using video marketing to connect. People do business with people they like.
Yeah.
Right. What you do, right, is secondary. So, you know, that's my advice. I think, you know, done is better than perfect. So a surprise for you guys, you have a TikTok script underneath your chair. Go grab it. We're going to all film a TikTok video. No, I was just playing. We're not going to do that. But follow me on TikTok, Eric Estevez, the lender. I try to be funny on there. So go ahead and follow me.
So, Will, can you expand a little bit as you see
gotta
opportunities?
Follow that, like
yeah,
TikTok,
you got to follow
you know?
that. You got to
That's
follow
crazy.
TikTok.
So hire your daughter. Yeah, no, I actually have 2 kids, 2 sons. I'm sorry. I don't want to hire them for anything. They're lazy. One's 17 and one's about to be 18. Oh my God. So you can hear my accent. Everybody has that accent, but I got a heavier accent, a Jersey accent. And so if you don't understand, I apologize. Jersey, Elizabeth. Yeah, that's a city in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So to expand on Eric's doing it, right? You got to just do it. Right now, I'm uncomfortable. Uncomfortable makes you grow. But my position on marketing is do it with the most comfortable part is with the people that like you already. You already have a database of closed loans, right? Why not you? They like you. Well, some of them might not like you. Some of them don't like me because we don't close on time for other issues. But with that being said, experiment what you want to do with the people that are already like you, enjoy your company, enjoy your business, family, friends, closed business. Mainly my marketing is based on closed business, right? I'm not too focused on new business. That's what the realtor's for. My business has doubled and tripled the moment I decided to market to my database. And that's, you know, and the emotional aspect of it is that's how you build confidence, because they already closed. They like you. You saved them the rate. You got them the house of their dreams. That's the advice that I give to people. And database first, market that and expand on new relationships because, believe it or not, on my Instagram, what I do, I'll give you what I do. I actually have a box that I send at closing. It's being like a cartoon, and I actually put a bunch of marketing stuff in there. And I asked the clients to write me a review, and I have a little keychain that William Calzadilla Lending, and I asked them to take a picture with their family. And I post that on my social media. And that alone, right, has gotten me more referrals, more realtors. I make it, someone said today, make it an event, right? Make a closing special. Make the transaction special. And that was my way of doing it. Showing everybody that this was a big deal for that family. So if you see my Instagram, you'll see a couple families like this, some of them with their kids, and that's powerful. And I did that marketing with people that already like me. And I was comfortable with it because I didn't really have to do much. All right?
Great. No, it's a good
Can
point.
I add something to just real quick? So, I mean, we talk about marketing, but I want to tell all of you, just keep in mind that more than marketing, you're doing branding. And when you're branding, as it was said earlier, in the earlier panel, you're the guide, you're not the hero. Therefore, you're not there to be perfect, to to be the one. You're there to simply share your journey, your story, your experience, and that's really what connects others. So you're building a brand, really. I mean, marketing could be a really scary word. You know, you go to school for marketing. It's like, I'm not a marketer. I don't have a degree in marketing. So let's sort of like take that word marketing to the side and just remember, you're building your brand, and that's what's going to connect people. And by building, and why should you do video? Why, you guys might be asking that. Why should I do a podcast? It's an opportunity to share other topics of things that you are interested in or have an experience in, and then that's how you build connection. Because it's not about selling. Nobody wants to be sold, and it's great that we talk about our closings, that we talk about what we're doing for people and whatever, but to build your audience, it has to go further than that. And so what's your why, right? Again, and then who's your target audience? The quicker you identify your target audience, and really your target audience are those who connect with who you are. So the sooner you know you, the sooner you know your target audience, and that's how you're gonna grow your brand.
Great point. Yes,
I wanted to say, and shout out, this coaching platform, because there's a very deep roster of coaches that I've picked a lot of brains and had sessions with a lot of them, Michael Hammond and Ski and Andy and Ray. And we talked about automation too, right? And we can use video for automation, right? When somebody is, when there's 35 offers on a house, right? Can you step in and speak to that listing agent, right? And sell your client. And one thing we talked about during one of our coaching sessions is, there was a very successful, highly successful originator that started sending videos, right, to the listing agent and sometimes even to the seller. And those things, right, how many other people are doing that, right? So those are the things that you want to try to automate using video, right? I have a video where I have a branded video when I get a lead, right, from a realtor or whatever the case may be. I shoot them out a quick little video, right, with my calendar link to schedule a call, right? So there's some things, even throughout milestones, throughout the process, can you send out videos, right? When you're clear to close, can you send out a video? So it's really using video and technology to automate those things, right, to give you back time, right, to go and continue to get in more business. So it's just a great way to use that technology to grow your business.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And two things I want to hit on. One that Will said, as far as marketing to the database, you really should be spending about 80% on the people you do know and 20% on the people you don't know. Because it's the people you do know is where you're going to get most of your business, right? Now, obviously, always prospect, try to bring in new customers, new consumers, but just know that your resources are better spent on the people you do know. It's a great point, Will. And to touch on what Anna said, when it comes to the brand, is that all of you, it doesn't matter, retail, broker, well, more towards broker because you own your business, right? You are the CEO. But if you're a loan originator with a retail lender, a bank, whatever, you are still the CEO of your own personal brand. You are the owner of your own small business, period. Doesn't matter who you work for, because when someone's recommending you, they're not recommending EPM, they're recommending Jason Frazier at EPM, right? Or they're recommending Eric or Will, right? They're recommending you, not the company. So remember that you are the CEO. So Grant, I'd like to hear your...
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that ties into actually what Ann was saying about branding. I think what's super important is like, even if you want to, let's say you want to join another company or you're looking at the leadership, these are some things I would recommend for yourself as well. And here are my questions to you. First is, what's your vision? And can you even articulate it? So like if, say someone was recruiting me today or whatever, I would say, what's your vision? And the other thing that I think is super important are, what are your core values and what do they mean? So one of the things that was said earlier today is, who are you, right? So whether you're doing video or writing, you have to be authentic by who you are. And if you're faking it, it's gonna come out. I mean, it's gonna come out, just a matter of time. So for instance, for me, if you were to go on my LinkedIn, you'll see my vision, and I have 4 core values, and they're listed. But you gotta be able to articulate it, guys. So if I'm sitting in front of Jason, I said, hey, what are my core values? Is family first. I mean, we hear that all the time, right? What does that mean? You know, what does family first mean? And how do you live it, not only in the workplace, but at home? Or like, one of my core values is humble. Well, what does that mean? And how? So my suggestion would be, is you should be able to have written down what your vision is and whatever your core values are. I wouldn't do more than 4. And how do you have the ability to articulate those? And if you do, that's building your brand no matter what. You stick to that. I don't know if Whitney Hall's in here, but so what I complimented him the other day, because the guy swears all the time. Is that going to turn some people off? Probably. But you guess what? You know what you're getting, and either you like them or you don't. And, you know, same thing. You're like, you're crazy, man, but you're funnier than hell, you know? And I would never come up on a stage with a drink, you know? But I'm in leadership and not an individual producer, so it's a little bit different as a leader. But it doesn't matter. The cool thing is everybody up here knows who they are, and they stick to their brand. And I think that's the best thing I would hope that you take away, no matter what it is. If you're not sure who you are, and you want to get to the next level, you got to figure out who you are.
Hey, Jason, can I say something real quick?
Huh? No, you may not say anything real quick.
Oh, my God.
Well, can you say something real quick? Go ahead.
I'll get your T-shirt. I'll get your T-shirt, I promise. What I was going to say is, as you guys are making the videos, make sure you know the right social media platform to put them on. It's critical, okay? Because there's a big difference between YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and just real quick, you know what I mean? YouTube is like the Google, right? So when I go on YouTube, I'm looking for something like, how do I install this security system, right? So some guy's gonna teach me in 8 minutes how to do that. Whereas Facebook is like a shopping center. All these things are just passing through and passing through. LinkedIn's the same thing. So if I'm posting videos on LinkedIn, maybe I'll get some traction, maybe I won't. But the podcast that we do, we started posting it on YouTube. And in about 4 months, we had over 1,000 subscribers, right? Getting some CTAs out of that. So because people were going on there to learn about the mortgage industry, so whenever they do like a search on YouTube for mortgage, my podcast starts popping up. And that's the difference between really taking your videos and your social media message and putting it on the right platform so that you attract the audience that you want to attract. Because like Grant was saying, maybe you don't want to attract somebody who cusses. Or maybe you do. Maybe you want Whitney on your team who cusses a lot, right? It's no big deal, right? I love it when he cusses. Makes me feel normal. But all I'm saying is make sure you pick the right social platform for the right message, because it will get lost if you put it on the wrong platform.
No, it's true. And you brought up a good point, Fobby, and this is one thing that everyone needs to understand, right? There's only one social media channel, one, that's focused on intent, and that's YouTube. Everything else is interruption. You are interrupting the consumer in their normal course of scrolling while they're going to the bathroom, right? Or waiting in line, whatever that happens to be. We're interrupting patterns, which is important to do, and that's why we have to do it right, and that's why we have to reach for more than just the McNuggets when we're doing our marketing. We got to do stuff well. But understand that if it's about intent and you want the higher quality leads, the higher quality attention, the higher quality traffic, do it on YouTube, because that's focused on intent, because they're there for a reason, right? So Corrina, and we're going to be winding down here. I know we're almost out of time, but Corrina, as you're looking to expand more on your marketing and build your business the best way you can, what are you focused on personally?
So what we did was a couple different things. Was one of the videos that I showed here as far as about our culture, who we are, and also we did another team video. We went to a football field and we put together and introduced everybody as our team players and how they were and how we were going to get them to the touchdown, you know, and that we also do the extra point. We'll go the extra mile. We'll do the extra. So we kind of put some things together for our team to envision of where we're going as a team together. And then, of course, we did some professional videos within the office. So if we want to put something out there, we want us to look more professional, even though, not like Grant, I do cuss a whole lot more during the day, as far as way more than any Navy base near us. So, so we kind of leveled it up to where we wanted to really increase how we looked, to be a bigger brand, but not too overbearing. So even though we wanted it to still seem family, we wanted to come across that professional, balanced way, but also still keep it to where they can connect with each individual. And that also our loan officers didn't lose their individual brand within ourselves too. We wanted to make sure that they could do what they wanted to do. I have a guy who owns 2 gyms, and he produced 199 loans last year with us and still owns 2 gyms. So I have another girl who's an instructor for yoga, and she produced 152 loans for us last year. I didn't tell her she had to stop instructing for yoga to do that, so she does a lot of her videos or her posts on upside down mortgage information, you know? So we let them kind of be who they want to be, but make sure to, you know, still promote the company and culture and what we have. So for us, that's where we're going with it. And it may not work for everybody. Like, I cannot grow a plant or eat. If anybody sends, sorry, a lot of people sent me flowers yesterday. Is this recorded? Yeah. So if somebody sends me flowers, they go into the front office, because we have one girl who takes care of all the flowers in the office because they all die. So
Is that girl's name Chris?
yeah. But last I'll end is that, I mean, just again, with like what Anna said, is find, you know, your branding, your why, what that looks like for you guys. For me, I'm a great manager. I'm a great leader. I really provide for my culture and my team. I suck at public speaking and video. So I had to make someone force me to go do it and start kind of putting myself out there. And I have to get on a schedule to do it now. So, and of course, like Brad said earlier, I hired a $100,000 marketer a year to help me do this shit, you know? Yeah. So that's it.
Nice. Yeah, well, and it's true.
You should hire his daughter.
It's true, because what I found is the people that hate doing video or are uncomfortable doing video, the people that are introverts or don't want to speak or are afraid of public speaking and uncomfortable public speaking, like for me, it's not natural for me to do it. I have to do a lot to be able to do it, is they seem to come off as the most authentic, right? Because they're not trying anything. It's really uncomfortable. So when you were talking about videos, like, I love your videos. I love hearing you talk. Like, it's great. It's authentic, because I know when the mic goes down, I'm going to have the same exact conversation with you in the back of the room.
Yeah, so I'll say one last thing. Like, I've taught and trained 2,000 LOs for 10 years, and I can teach what we do in front of this whole room. But to get up here and tell my story or to be on a video, I probably have to go pee twice before I do it. So it's different for me. Yep. It's different. People like, it's the same shit, Corrina. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I can teach regs and tell you what reg Z and reg X and reg shit is, you know, all day long. But I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell you my story without having to go pee twice. Yep. So it's different.
Perfect. So, great. That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway, everyone. So as we wind down the panel, speaking on having one takeaway, and maybe it's that, but we want everyone to have one takeaway from any conference, right? We've heard a lot of good content and speakers over the last 2 days, and so what I would like to say, or what I'd like to have the panelists do now, is what would you, one piece of advice or one thing that you want someone to take away from either your advice or something they've seen today?
Y'all are looking at me, so I'm gonna go. Y'all remember what Barry said earlier about Ronald Reagan when he went over to speak with Mr. Gorbachev? And he probably did it in a nice, slow tone, caring tone, and he asked him to stand up and walk with him. Do you remember what he said after? He said, Mr. Gorbachev. Very clear, very directive, right? He established rapport. He built some semblance of a relationship, but he didn't hesitate to give very firm, clear directive. Do the same. Build rapport and tell people what you know with authority. Don't seek authority from anyone else. You don't need it.
I'll make mine real short is partner with someone. That helped me more than anything. If I could just be on Fobby's podcast, that would be like an ultimate thing for me today. And for him
Make her dream come true right now.
Yeah, but him to interview me, I can answer his questions, and I don't feel like I'm on video. I don't feel like I'm having a conversation that I couldn't have. So partner with someone. That's how I got through my video coaching, was partnering with someone. Anybody. Just have someone ask you questions and answer it.
Yeah, mine's super easy, and that is just no matter what, always just stay true to who you are forever.
I would say in today's day and age, personal branding is not an option. It's a must. The more we continue to move forward, the newer generations are going to come in. Technology is taking over, and so you got to start today. And I would also say, I forgot what I was going to say second. Anyhow, y'all just got to start doing it. That's it. Get over yourselves and just do it, like Nike says.
Yeah. Done is better than perfect.
100%. Database, man. Database is the most important thing. Technology and marketing is going to be where our business is going. Let's use the technology to hit up our database and make sure we streamline the process with technology. And if you feel you need to try something, try it with your friends and family, marketing-wise, see if they like it, and then hit the database.
Hire your daughter. No, done is better than perfect, and maybe grow some plants on the side.
Yeah. Good advice.
Hire Eric's daughter. The one thing I would say is, like, I think the numbers are 5% of the people that are going to be at this conference are actually going to follow through on what they heard today. Be part of that 5%. Be part of that 5%. Go out the door and actually execute what you heard. Whatever that one little nugget was, just execute it. You got nothing to lose except where you are right now.
I got one. I got the microphone.
Wow.
You just
Together.
try to give me two.
You ready?
I'm so glad you guys went so fast. Because I got something, I'm going to share something that's going to take a little bit more than 30 seconds. But this is, don't look at me that way, Jason. Jason is looking at me like.
I can't help it.
I know.
Yeah.
Jay.
Cue the wrap-up music, please. Cue the wrap-up music.
It's like Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle
Dave
skit?
Chappelle.
Okay, so listen. So look, there's something very interesting. This is going to sound shocking, the fact that I'm about to say this on a panel that's about marketing. I really feel like I should stand up for this. So, Jay, I'm following your advice. So, I think if you're marketing, it means you're competing. You know what I like to do? I like to dominate. Just like to straight up dominate. It's like my favorite thing to think about. How do you dominate? How do you just win every time? I'm going to give you guys something, an analogy, a thought about what is the best marketing. Can anyone guess what is the best marketing invention or best marketing product ever, period? Sales Boomerang is the right answer. What's the second best? No, seriously, the best, you say phone? Nope. What else? Computer? Nope. Nope. I love this. Who? Me. The right answer again. You guys got it right twice. Okay, you ready? It's going to blow your mind. The best market, because what's great marketing? Marketing is when people can hear your message. You want to know what product out there knows its customer, and its customer knows it 100% of the time? You ready? And I told you. Thank you very much. I told you I was going to say it. The dog whistle. Think about this for 1 second. Really think about it. When you blow a dog whistle, who is paying attention? The only customer that matters, which is a dog. You could do it in the middle of a zoo. And only dogs will be like, what? You know? So think about this for yourself. I call it the dog whistle effect. What is your dog whistle? That's what you need to figure out. You want to blow your whistle that only your customers hear you. Who gives a fuck if nobody else hears you? Only your customers. If you customers that like people who cuss, who's Whitney, by the way?
Over there, man. The big,
Oh shit! I hung out with Whitney last night.
And he will whip your ass, Alex.
I know. We were talking about it last night. No, but honestly, think about that. A dog whistle knows its customer, but what's better is that the customer knows it.
Anybody got a dog whistle from a man?
What do you think I'm gonna do? Run after it? That was it.
Yeah, so,
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Hand up. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, so the last takeaway I'll say, one is connect with these people, right? Connect with these people, connect with others that you've met that are maybe doing podcasts, videos, that have got over that hump, that have broken through that barrier, whatever was holding them back. Make sure you connect with people. The community is strong here. Christine's created a great network of people here, so take advantage of that. That is my one takeaway for you. Have a great day.